And hello and welcome to the VAU mic check. We are back for another awesome week of reading scripts and just having a lot of fun. Once again, let us know what you'd like to see in the comment section below. We do check on that, check up on that pretty regularly, and we love hearing back from you whenever we can. So please let us know what you'd like to see. Let us know any suggestions or thoughts. We had some really awesome ideas last time we were on the mic check, and Nathan and I are tossing around some thoughts between the two of us. So any suggestions would be more than welcome. But today we're going back to sort of our normal format. We're just going to have fun with our commercial scripts. That's usually the most common kind of script a voice actor comes across anyways. But you know what? We didn't start by asking anybody to volunteer. Would anybody be willing to start for us?
Anyone?
Bueller? You see, I would say, Nathan, I think you should start for us because, you're going to be out this coming week. Was it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's going to be out this coming week, but don't worry, you'll be back.
Oh, I will be back.
Nothing can keep Nathan away from the mic check.
Mm-mm.
Hold me back.
I'll be back. It won't be long. You will be back on the next time.
For the script that we've got, he's definitely got an interesting character idea to go with it.
Oh, yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy, she packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out a peanut butter. I just about fell off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman be so choosy and give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said, Jif smelled more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked the sandcastle, and we died laughing.
All right, what did you guys think? Nathan's character read.
Character read.
That was good.
I liked it.
See, when I think you were mentioning Jewish moms, I don't know how many Howard Stern fans we have here, but when he goes into those bits as his own mother, where he'll be carrying on a conversation with him doing the voice of both his mother and his dad, those are the best. But Howard, I was at your sister's the other day, and I was on the machine, because that's what she calls a computer.
Yesterday, yeah. I thought really Jewish dad. It's like, oh, honey.
I don't know. To me, it sounded really, really sort of breathless and desperate, unnecessarily so. I understand that maybe how the character sort of comes off in your mind, but to me, it sounded like this person was way worked up over script that really is just sort of like a funny reflection, I guess you could say. They're just thinking back on something stupid that happened.
Okay. Take two.
Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy, she packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out a peanut butter. I just about fell off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked the sandcastle, and we died laughing.
See, I don't know about you guys, but that sounded a lot more on the dot to me.
Yeah, actually, I could hear that. It sounded more like a funny story than the last take. Huh. Yeah.
How did that feel for you, Nathan?
It felt good.
But you saw, did you see what I mean with the first take, though?
Yeah. I see exactly what you mean.
Nathan, did you post the script in the chat box? Because I do not see it.
Hang on a second. Where's my window? We will get you a fresh copy. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Fun script time. Anyway.
It's time.
So yeah, that just I don't know. To me, that seemed a lot more like, yeah, this is something ridiculous and funny that happened. But come on, we're talking about Jif here. It's not a serious brand.
And you know, Jerry, from now on, she's buying Jif instead of that other peanut butter. But I don't know if I'm going to go out with her again or not.
Oh, man. And now we go into the ad-libbing.
2 minutes ad lib. Go.
That's who I was tapping into when I did that second take, by the way.
Hey, always have characters in your back pocket. You know that. I don't need to tell you that.
Keep them in your wheelhouse.
I perpetually. What was it? Somebody the other day, a guy I work with, he's like, I'm going to do a game. And he said, I want you to voice the characters on my game. I said, pick one. I got over 100 of them.
Something that might help you out. I don't know. I was thinking about this, and I'm probably going to do it when I get my whisper room because I'm so freaking close. I'm probably. I was thinking about making a character directory audio file. Just take something that is absolutely typical of whatever character you decide to come up with, and record that. And keep that on file as something you can reference back to. You can play again and remind yourself of sort of the feel, mindset, everything, and getting into that character.
That's an excellent thing to do. Actually, there's somebody, who was it? I think it's James Allberger. He actually has a file. It's from the book that he did. And it's a thing you can print out where you can actually do that.
Oh, nice.
You can print it out and you just write in, it's a character worksheet.
Well, what I was thinking is, sometimes the character just sort of hits you right there.
Yeah.
And like the voice just sort of hits you right there. It's a spontaneous thing. Maybe it's just some esoteric or specific situation that goes along with that character, and it's just kind of like the spur of the moment thing. I think it'd be pretty cool just to be able to jump into the studio, record it really quick, and record everything about around that character. What sort of made that character for you?
That is an excellent idea.
So let's say you have a Jewish mother, all right? Something like that. Honestly, they could be really picky. They could not picky. What am I saying? They could be really nosy. They could be really involved, really opinionated. Because you know me, I know best. It's all for your better. I'm just trying to help you out here. And honestly,
I don't need the sweater.
For me, my greatest reference for something like that was, and this is going to sound really stupid, but you know what? It really helped me sort of get that character down. My greatest reference for something like that was an interview on a talk station that I've been listening to for forever. The guy doing the interview, he himself was a Jewish background. And he was interviewing this young woman about this book that she published. It was like text from my mother, advice from a pain in the A Jewish mother, and the thing is this guy doing the interview had both the daughter who published the book and the mother on the line. And listening to that interaction was almost like just her speaking to him, the mother, not the author, speaking to him about her opinions on her daughter was like the ultimate reference to something like that.
Oh my
If I
God.
wanted to be the biggest pain in the neck Jewish mother, that reference right there would have been it.
I like that.
So, like, going into the studio and recording in character a review of that interview is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, the subject was how the character came about, and the character, you know, you're already into it, your mind is already into it, and recording it while it's fresh and right off the top of your head, I think would be absolutely perfect. But
That is excellent.
that was sort of the idea that I had going with that in particular.
I like that. That happens to me a lot on the fly. I'll just be listening to some. Well, I mean, hey, I work in television, so you hear everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm listening to something. It's like, what was it? There was one day. There's a call-in health program that we run, and this lady called in, and I was about ready to run out of the room and tell my bosses, no, that is not me. Because it sounded like one of my characters. Oh, Dr. Becker, I can't handle this anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, she sounded like that. I'm like, oh, my God.
You walk in, hey, just so I'm clear, I am right here. I don't have my phone on me right now. That's not me.
She's real.
The phone is unplugged and in the other room.
She's real.
It's Madeline Babushka. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know that's just something an idea I was sort of tossing around. But
I like
anyway.
that idea. I go with that. Really.
Again, I am totally going to do that when I actually have my whisper room, so I know I have a clean place to just like jump right in and be like, all right, so this was on my mind, you know, and go with it. But oh man.
Well, that's how I came up with Billy Bob and Ray, doing something very similar to that. Because I had a small voice recorder and I just recorded into that at the time. But
yeah, you could also use the phone. Get a little something like that going until you can actually get back and get to the studio.
yes.
Anyway, enough sidetracking. Would anybody else like to go?
I'll give it a shot. All right, I'll let him do it.
I'll give it a shot. Okay, I'll let him do it. All right, Shane, go for it.
Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. Now, she's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter, and I just about fall off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
I like the character actually. The only thing I would say,
that was more Southern woman than
yeah. Well, I mean, it's still like I think it fit. It really had this sort of down home, like grounded feel to it.
Paula Dean was what I was going for there.
That's awesome. The only thing that I would say to change in that would be button it up, like really give it a sense of finality, because it felt like you were going to keep going on at the end of the script.
All right, I'll give it another shot. Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. As she's so choosy, she packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fall off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif, I waved it under her nose, and she lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. Thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
All right. What do you guys think?
I liked it.
It was good. Nice regional dialect too.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. I don't know. You hit everything just right. So,
I guess.
good job. Way to go.
We today are tapping into characters and making it work.
Apparently so. Well, would anybody else like to go next?
I volunteer as tribute.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Let me just take a quick read through it one more time and add some free life. So yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens and it was cloudy. Anyway, she took out her peanut butter. I just about fell off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smiled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
Okay, just a note. You instead of smelled, you said smiled.
Smiled.
They just smiled at her.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't...
Suddenly,
Hold on.
Tiff is sentient.
She's sentient. I need to make the lines bigger. Hold on. Let me increase the font to... I think 14 seems big enough. All right. Separate. And there we go. Okay. Take two. Okay. Here's a funny one. Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens and it was cloudy. Anyways, she took out her peanut butter. I just about fell off my blanket. I mean, how could a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. So I took up my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. So Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
All right. What did you guys think of that?
It was pretty good. Kind of sounded a bit rushed on the pacing. And when you hit that line, she told me she grew up on it. You blew past the little
Oh, poor kid.
yeah. So like,
Oh.
she told me she grew up on it. Poor kid.
Poor kid. Oh man, I can't believe I missed that. Ah.
It's kind of
Can I go for one more?
yeah. I kind of dial back a little bit and just relax your way through it. You know.
No, you can't come back. You can't do it anymore. You're done.
Oh.
All right, next.
Oh.
Go quickly while it's still
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fell off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took up my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
All right. And what did you think of that one? Bueller?
Bueller? Bueller?
Anybody? Does anybody have opinions?
It was good. You hit every line this time. You know, your pacing was right.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too.
I like
Yeah,
that
was
the you know, you had that I'm telling a funny story. This is hilarious to me. Feel.
The only thing is, again, just like with Shane earlier, I would say go ahead and button it up at the end. Make sure that it is an end of your thought, like because it sounded like it was going to keep going.
Oh, it'll be like, and we died laughing.
Yeah,
like that.
Don't go serious about that because then it sounds like you literally died laughing.
Oh, yeah, we're angels now.
And we died laughing.
Just to play devil's advocate here, Michael, the whole showmanship thing and leave them wanting more. Could there not maybe you could try to take an attempt at that where because not many people that I know of wish a commercial would keep going, but with a story like that and a setup like this.
Well, see, the thing is buttoning up a thought doesn't necessarily mean that you're not trying to give them, that feel of wanting more.
Yeah.
What it is that you've ended the thought. So while yes, there actually is a little extra part that I cut out of this. There is an announcer with a single line that's only like 4 words in it. Honestly, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not that your audience doesn't think, well, okay, are you going to keep going? Like, or oh, that was the end of the thought. Oh, what you want to do is like, oh, okay, well, they ended their story that they were talking about. That's really all I'm trying to say is that, like, because that's the end of the story that you're telling right there. You want to make sure that that's the end of the story that you're telling right there, instead of sounding like you're going to keep going. That moves into the realm of sounding unprofessional. Said just smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle and we died laughing.
And then people be like, what happened next?
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
If I was listening, I'd be like,
I understand the leave them wanting more, and that's mostly about getting into the character and really trying to immerse them in the story. When you reach the end of it, you want them thinking, oh wow, that was I totally missed that I was involved in that story. If that makes any sense. Like you want to tell the story well enough that they actually feel involved for the 30 seconds they're listening to you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the end of the idea, you want to end the idea. Because then it just sounds jarring.
Yeah.
If you don't.
yeah.
Yeah. And that 4-line sentence is probably, choosy mothers, choose Jeff.
Choosy mothers choose Jeff.
Choosy mothers indeed choose Jeff.
That's the way you Jeff it.
Well, anyways, we have a new guest to the mic check. Hello, Steve.
Who enter?
You unmuted and then muted. Let me go ahead and post the script. Hello?
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Steve. How's it going?
Running a little late, but here.
Oh, that is okay. Here is your script today.
Thank you.
No problem. And I was just about to do it. And since we happen to be on characters this week, I was figuring I may as well pull one out of the back pocket. Right. So let me tell you a funny story. Yesterday, Dee and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She picked 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fell off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif, I waved it under her nose, and she lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked a sandcastle, and we died laughing.
Nice job.
I like.
Yeah, that was very good.
I like the take.
Yeah, and see, you did the button up at the end, and it just perfect. Because it's like
Nice.
you hit that, and then I'm hearing the announcer thing in my head, you know, where that last 4 lines would be, or last 4 words.
Choosy moms choose Jif.
I like the finish.
So yeah, that was one of those old snooty characters I had in the back of my head for the longest time.
You took it across the pond.
Took it for a walk.
Excessively posh.
Hey, you gotta take it somewhere, right?
Yeah. Took it for a walk.
I took it to New York. What can I say?
All right. So, was there anything I could do differently, change, try, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah? Maybe do it a different character.
Maybe change up your character.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So yesterday, Dee and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out a peanut butter. I just about fell off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? I mean, she told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose, and she lit up like Times Square. Said it smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked the sandcastle, and we died laughing.
That was good. On the line said it smelled. They had Jif written in there. Now, I would think the client would probably want to keep their name in that spot, that line. Other than that, it was good.
Did I skip a word?
No, you actually changed Jif to it. Said it smelled. Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Lost in the story. It was good, though. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of just... Wow. Okay, Jif. All right, let me try that again. All right, so check this out. Yesterday, Dee and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out a peanut butter. I just about fall off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif, I waved it under her nose, and she lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked the sandcastle, and we died laughing.
That was the take.
That was it? That was the guy?
Yeah, that's your money take.
That was the guy.
Oh, Hallelujah.
That was the guy.
So am I hired? Do I get the job?
The client loves it. You kept the sound of their name in there through the whole thing.
Yes.
Clients are very, very much like that. They love to hear the sound of their name.
Oh, yeah. Well, I feel confident about that read. Who is next? Takia? Steve?
Steve.
I'll go next.
Takia.
Okay, Takia.
All right.
So yesterday, Dill and I took the kid to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreen, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fall off of my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kid that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif, waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. That Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanut. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
All right, what did you guys think?
I like that, Takia. You punctuated the a lot of the words and places where you needed to do it, and pacing was good. I thought that was very good.
It was.
Ah,
It was.
thanks.
Yeah. You had a lot of confidence in there, too.
Lots of confidence.
Ah, thanks.
I think coming at this after doing improv last week helped.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was that, Nathan?
I think coming at this after doing improv helped.
Oh. Ah, okay.
Because you were telling the story as if it was your own. Great job.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, congrats. Sounded good.
Thanks. It felt good to me too.
Well, thankfully, that confidence actually came out in your read.
Ah.
So it sounded like it felt good to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good job.
Thanks.
Alrighty then. I think the last person who has not gone is our good friend Steve.
Steve.
Yes. All right, let's give this a shot. I'm doing this out of a hospital lobby, visiting my wife today. So my Wi-Fi's not good. I just remembered we were being taped. It wasn't good. But let's give this a shot. Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fall off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. The Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
All right. Let me know. What did you think? How did Steve do?
He was pretty decent for a cold read, but I don't know. It's like something I didn't feel in that.
No feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got the sense that you were narrating it instead of explaining it myself, and I don't know. I think I just caught more of a voice of NFL films type delivery there.
Okay, so we try to do a little more conversational.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a little bit more like it's your own story, really. Own it.
Commit.
Admit.
So here, let's sort of give you a little stage to play on, I guess. You and a friend are exchanging really funny stories. Like you're just having one of those nights where you're just sort of hanging out, letting the time slip by, and just exchanging funny stories. And then this one pops up.
Okay. All right, let's give this a try then. Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. And she's so choosy, she packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fall off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing. Oh, too much pause here. Crickets.
Well, handing it off to everybody else. What do you say?
It kind of still had that narrator feel to it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And I would actually agree to that too.
All right, I'm stuck on the narrator today.
Let's see, what can we do to
Here,
maximize?
let's give you a character. So last time you did improv, you did a 10-year-old little boy. And you did that fantastically, by the way. I just have to put that out there. That was actually a lot of fun to listen to. A 10-year-old little boy with a voice like yours? Jeez.
Well, you can see where my mind is most of the time. So,
So let's see. You know what? Do this as your grandmother.
but all right, you guys are so cruel sometimes. All right,
Hey, it's
Hey,
the
we've had Jewish woman and Southern woman coming from men today, Steve. So it's really not that much of a stretch.
oh yeah, all right. Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. She's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fall off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said, Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing.
All right. And what did you guys think of that take this
It
time?
sounded like he broke out of it. He did.
Yeah, dramatically
Yeah.
different.
It sounded way better than.
Yeah. I had a little hint of Forrest Gump. I don't know why, but it did.
Well, let's see. We went from Jewish to Southern grandmother. There's going to be some Forrest Gump someplace in there for me.
Just those first 3 lines, it had a little bit of the hint of Forrest Gump.
Okay.
But it was good. That was a good hint of Forrest Gump. Not, it enabled you to
So-
actually just break away from the just, flat narration style read.
So the story, the ideal here is always keep just a little bit of improv in your back pocket for whatever read you might have,
Absolutely.
or keep characters in your back pocket just in case.
Perpetually.
Okie dokie.
No, I thought that was really well done. Just so you know, it was a good little pattern break. It sort of got you out of that same feeling and into a character that changed the way that you read it. Now, if you could take the same sort of mannerisms, same sort of not necessarily pronunciation, but inflection, and just put that to your own voice, I think you would absolutely have it.
If we've got time, let me give that a shot one more time in my own voice and see if I can get close.
Yeah, please do.
I mean, this is something, though, I've really been practicing of late. Well, not as much as I should have. I've taken one of Pat Fraley's courses, and it's one where they take you to the limit, where you go beyond what you normally would do, which means you're going. Well, he calls it the cutting edge, and basically that's what it is. You get used to getting in a pattern, whether it's a narrator voice or whichever, but it forces you to go beyond that, whether there's a touch of improv or it's working more on characters, but basically just taking that read and just running with it, just leaving some of the norms behind and just going with it. So I don't know. Let's see what we're probably going to do here. Yesterday, Di and I took the kids to the beach. And she's so choosy. She packed 14 sunscreens, and it was cloudy. Anyway, she takes out her peanut butter. I just about fall off my blanket. I mean, how can a woman so choosy give her kids that brand? She told me she grew up on it. Poor kid. So I took out my Jif. I waved it under her nose. She lit up like Times Square. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like roasted. Said Jif smelled and tasted more like fresh roasted peanuts. I thought she'd never give it back. So I wrecked her sandcastle, and we died laughing. Oh, come on.
Well, how did that feel for you, Steve?
That was more comfortable than the first two I did.
Okay. Yeah, you felt a bit more comfortable with the script, but what did everybody else think? What did you guys?
He flowed with it this time. He did.
I like the flow way better.
So today I am the four-script wonder. I mean, the critique and the info did help because I didn't realize I was really that much into the more just narrator voice on the first two, and then after we made it through the character voice a little bit, I realized that I was just I'm telling the story, but more I was just reading.
Yeah.
Was basically reading. So
well, that first take was like muscle memory. It's like, okay, I'm doing this a certain way. I had that happen to me because of doing a lot of promos. I went to do something in character, but it was still a little bit stiff from doing something out of muscle memory with doing shorter form copy. And so, I have to do that break and adjust for it.
Thank you, guys.
Having those characters in your back pocket really helps, and it helps you to break that pattern and get right back up into it and have that flow you needed.
And I imagine if you have time, if you're doing an audition or even doing a job from home, you have time to do this. It'd be a little more difficult if you're in studio or if you're on IPDL or one of of the other calls with a producer and a director.
Yeah.
But, probably about 80% of the time you'd have a chance to do that, or 85. Thanks.
Audition-wise, that last take would be the one that would get you there.
I'll try to use that more.
And then they would go, can we have something just a little shade different out of you? You know? We need a sounds like fill in the blank.
Yeah, well, that was fantastic. That's what we were looking for. But could we have something a little different next time? What happened to the fantastic? So then you start digging.
It was good, but
unfortunately, that can go right out the window very quickly.
Flexibility is a big part of being a voice actor. Is just being flexible enough to adjust it, change it. And of course, when you're doing character work, that kind of flexibility leads to evolving the character that you're working with. I was thinking about that the other day because of one that I created, which I actually used it for a radio spot, so that does count. But I noticed I was doing something on one of my videos on YouTube, and I noticed that her pitch changed just ever so slightly. You know, like, when did I make that change? But, you know, you just get that flexibility, and then you can evolve and change and actually create other characters out of that. But it helps you to get into that where if like it's like, okay, we need this change. That was good, but can you change it up on that line and give us 3 different takes on it?
Well, also I think it breaks the monotony, and it just gives you a chance to breathe and to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to say, guys, this nothing to do with today's class as much, but last week's improv, that was fantastic. So I hope you guys do that a little more. In fact, rest of the day, the next day, I was practicing my evil villain, thinking of things. I should have done this. No, I should have done that. That would have been cute. So, but anyhow, that was fantastic. Thank you.
Right. Good. That was exactly what we were going for.
Oh,
it's just
yes.
Get you thinking about characters, about trying something weird and different and new and something you haven't done before. So, yeah, I think we'll probably just add that into the mix every once in a while just to sort of, break up the monotony.
Excellent. I even bragged to Rebecca Howell on one of her posts the other day, and she came back with a comment positive. So that was fantastic.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome sauce.
Improv really can lay a lot of groundwork for what you do, you know. And me, I just love the stuff.
I love improv.
Well, prior to doing improv or participating in workshops, I always thought improv more on the stage level. The comedians, in movies and television where people just do a lot of improv instead of their lines. Never really related that to voiceover until about a year and a half or so, and then it really it began to click in a lot of ways. So I think it's fantastic.
Well, it's incredible how much you can actually fit improv into voiceover. I mean, like we said, there's a lot of obviously there's a lot of character work in VO, and it's always good to be able to sort of do things outside the script with your character, because you never know when that can actually really add to the performance.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
And it gives you that unique edge because, you'll hear a director and they'll give you a piece of direction and they'll say, okay, do this. And you'll do something, and they'll be like, well, no, everybody's done that. Give us something fresh. And if you've been doing, your homework, you've got characters in your back pocket, you can pull something out and give them something they've never heard before. Even if it's built off of an impression. Like what I did with that second take on this earlier. Because it was built off of an impression, but it created a new character and fit with this spot.
Wow, today was surprisingly a lot of talk about character work.
A lot of character work.
Well, there we go. For all of you on YouTube, this was an interesting little discussion about character work. Please go ahead and let us know your tips as well. If you listen this far, we thank you very much. And again, down in the comment section below, let us know your ideas, your thoughts, things you've learned about character work, something that can help us out in the future.
Absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
If you're a voice actor and you're really super wanting to get involved in a really great group, sign up on Voice Artists United.
It is free. You do not have to pay for anything. And the attendance on the mic check is also free. We'd love to have you join us. We'd love the more people, the better. That's all I have to say about that. But anyway, I think, what do you think, Nathan? You think this is a good time to wrap up?
I think it's a good time.
All right, then. Well, everybody has gone. I think we've had some really great discussions today and some really awesome performances. So once again, as usual, the recording will end, but the hangout will not. So we'll see y'all after the video. Take it easy.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.